Hello, how's everybody doing today? Well, I'd like to start out today showing you some of my Solingen knives. I've got a few of them, and I'll try to explain a little bit about each one of them. Now, I wouldn't take this down to heart that everything I say is exactly true, but it's the truth to the best of my knowledge, because as we know, there are so many different dates and discrepancies about certain knives and everything like that. And but what I'm about to say about each one of these knives is the closest that in the research that I've done that I can come with. So with that saying, we'll get started here with I don't know, I've got maybe 7 or 8 Solingens here. I'm going to show and explain a little bit to you. And now this is a corium right here, and it's not the original sheath. Most of these don't have original sheaths. There, if they do, I don't really show them. I have them stored away, and I just have them put in other sheaths, and I leave the old ones in storage. But we'll show you a little bit of this knife here. It's a real thin blade knife. It was exported to the United States around 1955. There's a couple other ones. I think the Ball and Dagger and the Nude Lady was, and then the Eagle Head here was like 3 of them that came over about the same time. I've seen some ads of these 3 together, and this is a pretty nice knife. It's got some sketching here on one side of a deer and everything like that. I don't know if you can see that very well, but it's got a sketching there of a deer. And this one is marked Solingen, Germany, patented. Now there's some out on the market that are like this, or very similar like this, pretty much like this, but maybe you could tell by the stag handles here that they're a little bit cheaper looking and stuff, and they'll be marked Japan down here. So you want to make sure that if you get one of these, I would get the patented Solingen Germany mark here, and just watch out for the Japan ones. If you don't, I mean, you could get a Japan one, but I don't think the quality is there like these. Anyway, this is about a 1955 model. It's real thin blade on these. They're kind of not like the rest of the Solingens with their big, heavy, thick blade. These are real thin, and so with the nice eagle head on there, it's in fairly good shape. It's probably one of mine that it's got a few little pits on here. It's probably in the worst shape of all my knives, probably, but it's nostalgic, and it can be used and everything like that. So that's just one of the things that's good about these knives. You can just use them up if you like, and everything like that. And so much for that one. And our next one here is, I'll have to even look to see what this one is. But it comes in, like I said, the sheaths are, I just buy new sheaths for them, and I store the old ones away. I don't want to put them back in the old nasty sheaths that most of them are with. But this is a 496, and it's an Edge brand, and it's probably 1950, 1955. So maybe pushing up to 60, somewhere in there. It's a buffalo. It's a buffalo Skinner knife. And the handle's not too bad on it, and I don't know if you can see the markings, but the markings are here on the stag. It says Edge brand, and on this side it says 496. It's a pretty clean little knife. It handles real well. Real thick blades on these knives here, unlike the corium. And it's got a nice little handle on it, stag handle. It's in fairly good shape. It could use a little buffing, and I don't really care. I don't buff mine out. I just do them as they are. But that's a nice Solingen knife right there that I like. And next up, have Old Sharif, around 1950 Solingen. It's in its original sheath. I've got another sheath on order right now coming for this, which is also black, that I'll take, and I'll just store this sheath, and I'll put this in the new sheath, because I think I like putting stuff in the new. There's grime in here and everything for over the years, and why have a nice clean blade going into a real gummy up old sheath. So I just take and I store these. So if I want to resell or whatever, then I can. But this is a Sharif, and it's approximately 1950. It's got the hand here with the 3 arrows on it, and I don't know if you can see this or not, but it says Sharif right on there. And then on the other side, of course, on the tag here it says Solingen, Germany. And this is a pretty nice blade. There you see quite a few of these out on the market. There seem to be abundance of them, but this knife right here is pretty much immaculate. There's not a scratch on the handle or the pommel, or I mean, it's real fine, beautiful, clean sheep. I don't even think it's ever been sharpened. It's the blade's kind of not real dull, but I don't even see any sharpening marks on it. This knife is a real heavy-duty knife, as you can see, real thick, and it's a nice Bowie knife, very nice. Yeah, it's in excellent shape. It's probably no one's ever really used it. Just probably showed it around or carried it a little bit once in a while, but that's probably about all that this knife's seen. Very nice knife. And then we have a large Solingen buoy here, Armeso. This is a Armeso, very nice handle. These handles, I tell you, I've only seen like 1 or 2 of these handles ever. Not that I've been around the world or anything, but I've only seen maybe one that looked kind of like it, but it wasn't even close. But this is Armeso Solinger. It's an original Bowie knife, as you can see the mark on here. It says Armeso down here, and it's in really fine shape. It's kind of one of my little favorites, just because I've never seen one like it. And the guard here is just a nice heavy duty flared out guard, and like I said, this is kind of one of my favorites because I just have never seen another one like it, or even pretty much close, with the handle and the heavy duty guard here. And it's in very nice shape also, and it's a heavy knife, as you can see. How thick it is, and very nice knife. And I like this knife a lot. And this knife is probably 1950, and so was the Sheriff, 1950. And these are all, at least the last couple I've showed you and everything, are basically right around 1950, 1955. Maybe 1 or 2 push the 60s, but this is definitely here 1950, and I probably wouldn't go too much higher than that, maybe 55. But this is an Armeso, and it's a very nice knife. And now we come down to the Puma. This is a Puma Scout knife. It's I've done some research on this knife, and the best I could come up with is probably in 1930, early 40s. It looks a lot like a woodcraft, Marvel's woodcraft knife. It's got the characteristic of the fat blade, but as you can see here, it says Puma Scout right on the blade there, and on the back side of the blade it says number 6302 foreign. Now, from all my investigation and everything I did on this knife, I found that Germany exported to New England knives, but they were stamped foreign on for export. And this was after 1926. And I ran through all of Puma, and I've called Puma, and I ran through all their magazines, and they seem to think that this is also possibly late 20s, but that's a little doubtful, but definitely 30s. More like the 30s than the 40s. Because of the style number 6302, that's a low style number, and they've said they've seen some 6310s and some 6311s, but nothing really that looked like this, had the same handle and all. So they were 1940s, so they're thinking this earlier model is probably in the 30s. And the way I mean, it's in really nice shape. It's really no scratches on it, and it was probably just carried. you know, like most of the knives. It's got a nice roll handle on it. It's not a very long knife, probably 8 inches long. And of course it's got 4 pins on each side here. And and it's got a real nice palm wind on the end here. This is kind of one of my favorite knives just because, you know, it intrigues me about its age. I know it's really down there in age, but it's a very nice knife too. I like the way the handle. It's a small knife, and it's got the Puma Scout written here on the blade. Kind of reminds me of marbles, you know, an old marble shaped knife. Kind of the way it looks. Hey, if any of you guys run into any better information on this, I'd be more than happy. And this is a Puma sheath that's in. Now this is a newer sheath, just as you know. The sheath that came with it was had Ideal on it, and you know, which is kind of related to marble. So not really sure what that was all about. But I've got it stored away also. But I just thought I'd bring that up to your attention. But that's a really nice knife, and I like that knife a lot. Okay, then we go in here. I believe this is my compass, I believe. We'll see here. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, this is a compass Solingen knife. You know, 1955 probably. 55 to 60, I would say. It's a real nice knife. It's got your little grooves in here. You can hold real nice. Nice handle on it. Handle's in perfect shape. This knife is just immaculate. There isn't nothing wrong with this knife. It's never seen daylight. At all. Nice pommel on it, nice blade, really no scratches. It's got a nice finger guard on here. That really sits nice in the hand. And it's got the 853 here, compass, sold in Germany. It's a little sharp there, but this is a very nice knife, and it's in very fine shape, and I kind of like that. Alrighty, and then here we come to my kind of one of my favorite knives too, I guess. O'Donnell Bowie knife, Carl Schlepper. It's a pretty nice shape. It's the O'Donnell surgical line, trophy line Bowie, 357. I don't know if you can holding that right where you can read that or not, but it's a real nice knife in real fine shape. The best of my ability I can come with this knife, and this is pretty good information I have on there. It's known throughout the web, but that this knife was made, since it doesn't have the no eye markings on it, this knife was made between 1950 and 1965. Now it did share in the early 60s the stamp with the that had Carl's name oval shaped across an eye. It did share that in the early 60s, share that mark with him, but this mark here was from 1950 to 1965. And this knife is in great shape, perfect shape almost. Whoever had it, it's starting to get a little patina on it because I don't keep it buffed up or anything, but the handle is just immaculate on it. There's no nicks, no cuts, no, you know, I don't even think it's ever been sharpened. It's just probably set in this sheath right here that it also has Odom on it, which is I would imagine for O'Donnell on here. It says on top original sheath. As you can see, the sheath is as nice a shape as a knife, and you know these two. This is a prime example of a real nice setup from the 1950 to 1965. This is kind of one of my higher end knives, and just because of the quality of it and the shape that it's in. This knife is in preserved shape, and it'd make a nice addition to anybody's collection. It's one of my favorites also. And last but not least, I have a K-bar. I kind of stepped all the realm a little bit on here, but I like these little smaller knives. They're really nice. This knife is really not that old, but this blade, look how small this blade is. Very tiny blade, very tiny knife. But K-bars are nice knives, and I like this knife, you know, to do, you know, a little trimming and stuff like that. It's always nice to have a small knife like this. I'm kind of a nut for fixed blade knives, so you know, instead of getting me a pocket knife, I just get me a small fixed blade knife because I seem to have a liking for them. So, but this is really not an old knife. It's probably 1990, I would say, and it's got the original sheath to it. But it's an all right knife, nice little knife. They stay sharp pretty well, and I just like having me a little small knife around so I can play with that. And well, that brings me to the end of my knives. I just thought I'd share a few of my knives with you. Everything I stated about them is the best of my knowledge, and there's always things up for debate about you know, what the dates are on knives, and you know, the quality, and should you clean them or not clean them, and you know, everybody has their own ideas about that. But those are just a few of my knives, and I explained them from the knowledge that I had, and gained from looking things up and doing my research and everything. That's the best. They were the best of my knowledge that I came up with. But if anybody has any different ideas or would like to post them or make a comment about them, I would be more into listening to them also, because you can never get enough information about these knives. And well, with that, I would like to thank you for your time, and have a good day and happy trails.